Hi everyone, it's Shawn again. My video is called the Maple Leaf Evaluation. Let's start at the top with MLSE. MLSE is making a lot of profit with the Maple Leafs. So there's nothing where they're about to build a winner. So let's forget about them. They're trying their best to build a winner and hopefully they can. Let's start with the Brendan Shanahan and his Shana plan. Brendan Shanahan, in my opinion, has 3 years to make the Leafs a team that has a potential to be in the Stanley Cup Finals. If he doesn't achieve playoff success this year or the next 2 to 3 years, the heat will be on the Shana plan. Let's go to the GM, Kyle Dubas. Kyle Dubas is the rookie GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's learning the salary cap game. What he does in trades and deals and drafts over the next few years will determine his future. Right now he's a rookie GM. He's learning the ropes. He's learning how to play the salary cap game, which you have to in the modern day NHL. So the jury is still on Kyle Dubas, but the next 3 years to 4 years will determine what his future will be. Coach Mike Babcock, your coach of the Maple Leafs. The thing about Mike Babcock is he's signed a 7-year contract. His fate will be determined on will he get a long-term contract after his 7 years expires. I can only see that happening in one way, and the way will be if Babcock can get the Maple Leafs to the Stanley Cup Finals. To do that, he must win 12 playoff games. Anything less than a Stanley Cup Final appearance, even if they get swept 4 straight in the Stanley Cup Finals, will determine whether the Leafs will sign him to another long-term contract. Because let's face it, he would break the all-time Leaf record. The most wins in a playoff year is 1993 by Pat Burns when he had 11 wins for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So if Babcock cannot get the Leafs over his 7-year contract into the Stanley Cup Finals, I see him getting short-term contracts, maybe 1 to 2 years, and Leaf management will start to lose faith in Mike Babcock. It's not what you did in the past, Mike Babcock, with Detroit. It's what you do with the Leafs. So his future will be determined. If he gets the Leafs to the Stanley Cup Finals, even if they get swept, he's getting another long-term contract guaranteed. Okay, let's go to Garrett Sparks, the backup goalie that the Leafs have no confidence or faith in. Leafs have seriously got to address this issue. If Anderson gets hurt in the playoffs or for a long stretch in the regular season, they have a goalie they have no faith in Garrett Sparks. My guess is that they're going to have to go out and get a goalie that they have confidence and faith in. It seems like management, coaching, they don't have any faith in Garrett Sparks, so they've got to go out and get a goalie which they have confidence in. I don't see Sparks being with the Leafs for a long term unless he miraculously somehow becomes that A-plus goalie. I don't know. I know he's on his knees a lot and they shoot high on him. Whether he's a goalie of the future, I don't know. Right now he doesn't seem to be. Let's go to the forwards. Okay, on the Leafs forwards, I think the guy that will probably go this year due to age is Patrick Marleau. Patrick Marleau is about 39. He's getting about $6 million a year. I just can't see the Leafs getting older and older. I think guys like Marleau will probably be let go. He's a player they'll probably get rid of. The second guy on the list would be William Nylander. William Nylander hasn't done anything, and with 15 games to go in the season, unless he plays like the second coming of Guy Lafleur, I don't see much happening. Or if he has a great playoffs against Boston, maybe that will determine his future. Maybe it'll keep him in Toronto for another year. But at this point, he played scared last year against Boston. I could see him being dealt in the summer. The other player I worry about the Leafs may have to deal is Nazem Kadri. Nazem Kadri is about 6 feet, about 190 pounds. He's playing like a Tom Wilson or a Ryan Reeves. That's not his role. He's not a 6'3" guy, 220 pounds, to play that enforcer guy to help your teammates out. I fear that Kadri, if he stays with the Leafs, is going to have a lot of concussion problems because he cannot play that type of hockey. The best thing maybe the Leafs can do is deal him, because he cannot play that enforcer type of hockey, and the Leafs are trying to make him. He's really the only guy on that team that has any courage. I mean, the team is really okay. That would be it with the forward lines. Everything is basically set. I mean, will they sign Marner? I think they'll sign Marner to maybe 5 years, $56 million. They have to. It'll be the first Leaf player since Gilmore and Sittler to get 100 points in a year, and he might be the most valuable Leaf. Okay, let's go to the defense. Okay, now that Jake Gardiner and Dermott are out, those are two big losses. But look at the guys replacing them that the Leafs have no faith in, that aren't really quality NHL defensemen. Marincin? No. Hole? Babcock has no confidence in the guy, so I don't know what his future is, but Babcock doesn't like him playing. And Ozhiganov? Forget it. These aren't the guys to replace Dermott, and even though a lot of fans hate Gardner. The third thing is starting goalie Frederik Andersen. The thing I see about Andersen is the burnout or fatigue factor. Does he have enough gas in the tank to go for a long playoff run? That'll be a key thing for the Leafs, because if you remember in Game 7 in the third period last year, he kind of had a meltdown, and that might have cost the Leafs, along with Gardner, had a meltdown that he let in a very easy goal, and it just seemed fatigue is a factor. I don't know what the future is for Frederik Andersen as a goalie for the Leafs. I can only see him playing for the Leafs maybe 4 more years. And that's my opinion of the Leafs this year. The Leafs are currently have 15 games to go. As Kyle Dubas, the GM, said, through analytics, there's a 90% chance the Leafs will be playing Boston in the first round of the NHL playoffs, and it looks like they'll be on the road. And it'll be very interesting to see if the Leafs can actually beat Boston this time. I mean, Boston's a very tough and physical team, but what they do in that playoff series and what certain players will do. Will William Nylander play scared again, which he did last year against Boston? Will Zaitsev, another guy which they made a big mistake in signing to a long-term contract, will he choke against Boston? This is the big issue here. And that series, and it looks like it's going to happen, as Dubas said, there's a 90% chance it will happen. That will be a key ingredient. And the Leafs have got to win a playoff series. It's been way too long. The last time they won a playoff series, as a matter of fact, Ed Belfour was the goalie. So that's how long ago it's been. And that's my talk and evaluation of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So tomorrow they'll be playing the Edmonton Oilers. And right now they have about an 8-point lead over the Montreal Canadiens with a game in hand. So they should probably get third place in their division. I'm Shawn. This is Toronto Maple Leaf Talk and Evaluation. Good night.